love this riff. Tonally, the instruments are so different. I'm usually neutral about triangles, but here the triangle really adds some nice high-end sparkle. The riff itself is actually very simple, essentially outlining the B minor chord. Any B minor, because we just really have the 1, the 2, the 3, the 5, the tonic again, and then the 9 up here, or the 2. So it can be B minor, the harmonic version, B minor, the melodic version, which is just B with the flat 3. See, they all sounds kind of like that riff. Or Aeolian, which is just starting on the 6th scale degree of D major.
First, I'll run through the lick in all 12 keys, and then at the end of the video, I'll give some tips about how to practice it.
feels hard to play, if it's uncomfortable, it's going to sound like that too. So you want to have it as comfortable in your hands as possible so you can have it sound comfortable, sound smooth. I start with the second finger. You could also start with the first finger if you prefer that. When I first started to play this very slowly, I thought, oh, my hand is most centered when I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 5, and then maybe switching. But I found it at faster tempos, it was very easy to not get that C sharp with my fifth finger. So that's why I eventually settled on this fingering. The second finger, third finger, first finger. And where my hand is centered is here, up here, not down here. It's good to put the metronome on and do some exercises that are going to strengthen the fourth and fifth finger. Because what you're doing in this is just the fourth and fifth fingers are just making these like cameos. But if you have a dedicated exercise to the fourth and fifth fingers, that's going to be much better for your technique in the long run and even playing this riff. The thing that I had the hardest time with is getting it to sound legato, where the attack of the second note masks the first note a little bit before you lift the first note. So you can practice it like this. The keys that I found easiest to sound good for this passage was A flat. You can see it's so easy and nice for the hand there because of the proximity between the second note of the riff and the flat 3. Same, very similar to playing it in G flat and B flat. Those were all quite similar. Also, I found the A and the D. The A and the D also nice just because there's no flats and sharps, there's no accidentals in the riff when it's played in those keys. So those were the easiest for me. The most awkward, like I said, is kind of the C. If you can think of good fingering when you're playing this riff in C, please let me know because I found this very challenging. It's tempting to emphasize a note in this riff just because your finger is heavy playing it. So naturally, I think playing it, at least with my fingering, I'm playing the flat 3 with my thumb. You don't want the flat 3 to be louder than the other notes because that's not how the riff originally sounds. You want to listen to where the emphasis is being played in the riff. It's best to start playing it so that each note has an even tone. You're pressing down equally hard on each note, which again is hard because some fingers are heavier than others. One of the best ways for me to do this is to hook it up to my DAW and actually see the velocities. You don't want to have, for example, one note with a velocity of like 30 and the next with a velocity of like 120. As you get faster, it's going to be harder to keep that even tone. Rise the metronome 2 points every time. And before you know it, you'll be playing 140, but to start off playing 140 is pretty impossible. Try to keep your wrist relaxed, especially when you're practicing at slower tempos, because you will carry that relaxation when you speed it up.